What I'm about to say might surprise you. In fact, it might even shock you. But if you're hearing these words right now, it's not by accident. It's not by some random click or algorithm. No. If you found this message, if this video found you, it means something divine, something profound has already taken place in the unseen. Chosen one, your forgotten tears unleashed a thunderous miracle. Yes, your silent cries, the ones no one noticed. The tears you shed when no one was watching. The pain you buried so deeply even you forgot it was there. The universe did not forget. Heaven recorded them. And now? A miracle has been thundered into motion because of what you endured in secret. As a chosen one, you've always been different. You move through a world that rarely understands you. You feel things deeper. You sense things quicker. You carry a kind of wisdom that can't be taught in schools. And while others walk with ease, you've had to crawl through storms, but all of it was aligning something cosmic. And now that alignment is erupting into visible breakthrough. You ever wonder why some people just can't seem to break through no matter how hard they try, yet you, with all odds stacked against you, somehow survive every blow? That's because there's a contract over your life. And that contract is now being activated by the tears you thought had been wasted. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something powerful. Hit the like button, send that signal out. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because you are not supposed to walk this path alone anymore. Drop a 77 in the comments. That's a vibrational code, a universal acknowledgement that you're ready for what's coming. And play this video on repeat if it resonates, because the more you hear it, the more that divine current flows through you. Let's be real, if you're not truly a chosen one, you won't stay till the end. You'll get distracted, you'll click off. But if you are, something in your spirit is going to keep you locked in. Because you know this isn't just a video, it's a confirmation. Let's begin. Chapter 1, The Day the Sky Remembered Your Cry. There was a moment in your past, you might not even remember it clearly anymore. Maybe it was blurry, lost in the chaos of trying to hold yourself together while everything around you felt like it was falling apart. Maybe you were sitting alone in your car after hearing the worst news of your life. The engine was off, the lights dimmed, and you just sat there in silence, your heart heavier than your body could carry. Maybe it was a night where your pillow soaked in tears while the rest of the world slept peacefully, unaware that you were unraveling thread by thread. Or maybe it was in public, in broad daylight, when you had to pretend to be okay, holding back tears that threatened to break free like a dam cracking under pressure. You wore a brave face, but inside, you were shattering. That moment, that exact moment, changed everything. Not because anyone else saw it. Not because the world offered you comfort. But because the universe heard something no one else could hear. It wasn't just the sound of your pain, it was the vibration of your truth. A soul-level cry that echoed across realms. You didn't realize it then, but the frequency of that cry pierced through layers of illusion, through dimensions, through veils between the seen and unseen. See, there are cries, and then there are soul cries, the kind that bypass the noise of the world and go straight to the throne of the divine. The kind that shake celestial gates. You released one of those. And the sky? It remembered. The universe doesn't react to sound, it responds to energy. To intention. To the purity behind the expression. And your energy, even in agony, carried no venom. You weren't bitter. You weren't hateful. You were broken, but not corrupted. You were wounded, but still willing. That's what made your tears sacred. That's what made heaven stand still. That forgotten moment, yes, the one you tucked away so you could survive, became the seed of a miracle. Not a gentle one. Not the kind of miracle that whispers in shadows. No. A thunderous one. The kind that kicks down doors. The kind that rearranges timelines. The kind that heaven announces and hell fears. Let me tell you why that's rare. Because pain doesn't always lead to purity. Most people cry and curse. Most people break and choose bitterness. They look at their wounds and let them fester into hate. But you cried and still chose to hope. You bled and still clung to belief. Even when your faith was fragile, you never let it go completely. Even when it hurt to hope, you whispered one more prayer into the darkness, please, let this not be in vain. And the heavens heard that whisper like a roar. That trust, that childlike faith in your darkest hour, it triggered something ancient. Something written long before you were born. You don't need to understand it all right now. You just need to know this truth. What was locked for years, what was withheld by ancestral burdens, what was denied to others in your bloodline, it's now moving toward you. Because your tears gave heaven permission to intervene. Chosen one, the tears you cried weren't just emotional release. They were activation codes. Messages in the form of water. Prayers written in salt. Those tears were encrypted with divine instruction, and those instructions were delivered to the very gates of the spirit realm. And the answer? Thunder. Movement. Unfolding. You've already started to feel it, haven't you? Those tiny shifts. The things that don't quite make sense. People suddenly acting different. Opportunities arriving out of nowhere. Something you can't explain in words, but your spirit knows it's not random. That's the miracle already moving in your favor. You've entered a divine current. And here's the stunning part, this miracle isn't just for comfort. It's for restoration. That means everything you lost, everything stolen from you, every delay, every sabotage, every no that was really a divine not yet, it's all being brought back into alignment. Not just in balance, but in overflow. What you thought was over is being rewritten by sacred hands. And some people, they won't believe it. They're going to be speechless when they see what's coming your way. Because they didn't see your suffering. They didn't hear your cry. They only saw the surface and assumed your silence meant surrender. But what they didn't know is that your silence was sacred. Your endurance was spiritual warfare. And your survival was prophecy in motion. They forgot about you. But heaven didn't. The divine never lost sight of you, not for a second. That's why your spirit has been restless lately. That sudden anxiety, that strange inner pull. It's not fear. It's awakening. It's your soul reacting to the tectonic shifts happening in your favor. The miracle is echoing into your physical world, and your body, your energy, your very breath can feel it. And let me be clear, this miracle isn't coming quietly. It's not subtle. It's not going to tiptoe in like a whisper. No. It's coming with the sound of authority. It's coming with signs and wonders. It's coming in a way that leaves no room for doubt. You're about to walk into places that once locked you out. You're about to receive blessings that others said were impossible for someone like you. You're about to live in answered prayers that even you forgot you prayed. Why? Because something sacred, something unstoppable, was triggered by the tears you thought were wasted. Let them call it luck. Let them chalk it up to coincidence. Let them gossip. Let them question. It doesn't matter. They weren't there in the silence. They didn't feel your pain. They didn't hear your cry. But the universe did. The spirit realm did. The divine took note, and the response is shaking foundations. The transaction didn't happen in bank accounts or conference rooms. It happened in the spirit. in the sacred, in the hidden. And now, the visible world has no choice but to respond. Chosen one, your forgotten tears weren't forgotten at all. They were planted. And now the thunder is the harvest. You didn't just survive. You awakened destiny. And it all started the day the sky remembered your cry. Chapter 2, the divine ledger has your name on it. There's a hidden record book, not one kept by humans, but by the spirit realm. A ledger not bound by time, not inked by hands, but etched into divine memory. And in that sacred ledger, your name has been glowing. Quietly, patiently, waiting for the moment when all accounts would be balanced and what was rightfully yours could no longer be delayed. Chosen one, you must understand this, nothing you've endured has gone unnoticed. Not a single tear. Not one sleepless night. Not one betrayal, not one overlooked sacrifice. While people forgot, dismissed, or even mocked your struggle, the divine was keeping track. Every action, every intention, every silent surrender. This ledger doesn't operate like the systems of man. It isn't swayed by status or titles. It isn't manipulated by favoritism. It responds to alignment. And for so long, you've been walking through fire with no applause, giving when you had nothing left, holding space for others while no one held space for you. But every moment of that became a divine deposit. And now, the heavens are issuing a withdrawal in your favor. You may have thought nothing was happening. You may have looked around and assumed the pain was pointless. But what you didn't know is that the waiting was working. The delay wasn't denial, it was accumulation. The longer it took, the more interest built. And now the payout is thunderous. You were never forgotten. You were being fortified. And now the ledger is opening. You might begin to see it in strange ways. Debts forgiven. Unexpected support from unlikely places. A door opens that once slammed in your face. People who left suddenly come back, but with changed hearts. Opportunities rise from nowhere. Things shift in your body, your mind, your bank account. Don't brush it off. That's the ledger settling your case. See, they thought you were finished. They saw your setbacks and thought they were signs of weakness. But what they didn't know was that your delay was actually a divine strategy. You weren't being rejected, you were being preserved. Shielded. Hidden until the time was right. The scales are now tipping. And this divine justice? It's not just for show. It's surgical, strategic, intentional. People who used your kindness as a weakness are about to witness your rise. Systems that suppressed you are about to fund your success. Environments that drained you are about to beg for your energy. Why? Because the divine ledger does not miss. It always repays. And when it repays the chosen ones, it overflows. There are rewards you don't even remember earning, but the universe remembers. There are prayers you gave up on, but the universe did not. There are promises you made to yourself when no one believed in you, and now the universe is keeping them. Everything that was denied is returning with divine interest. And those who took from you, lied about you, or misunderstood you, they're going to be spectators to your overflow. This isn't revenge. This is balance. You never needed to prove yourself. The proof was always in your purity, in your perseverance. And now, that proof is speaking louder than any defense could. So prepare, not for struggle, but for abundance. Your name has been called in the divine ledger. And what's owed to you is now on its way. Chapter 3, when heaven gets involved, nothing stays the same. When heaven steps into a situation, the rules change. The timeline bends. Logic breaks. And suddenly, what was impossible becomes inevitable. Chosen one, the moment your forgotten tears touched sacred soil, those moments of silent pain you thought no one saw, heaven got involved. And now? Nothing, absolutely nothing, can remain the same. You may have felt powerless for years. Like you were pushing against walls that wouldn't move. Like you were screaming into silence with no echo, no answer, no hope. But what you didn't see was that your spiritual cry was summoning forces far greater than anything you could imagine with your physical eyes. You didn't break down, you cooled down. You summoned angelic interference. You triggered divine timing. You activated ancient promises that had been waiting for your voice, your vibration, your readiness. And when heaven moves, everything that once stood in your way begins to tremble and shift. Doors that were sealed are now breaking open. People who ignored you are now being awakened to your light. Systems built to suppress you are now malfunctioning under the weight of your purpose. This isn't about you striving harder. This isn't about strategy or grinding. This is about what happens when the divine says, enough. Enough delay. Enough sabotage. Enough confusion. Enough being overlooked. The time has come. The balance must be restored. The chosen one must rise. And heaven? Heaven is moving on your behalf now. You'll start to feel it in your energy. The weariness you carried for years suddenly begins to lift. The heavy cloak of exhaustion slips from your shoulders. Peace that doesn't make sense will begin to wrap itself around you like a soft shield. People who used to trigger you will no longer touch your core. The chaos that once clouded your mind will begin to quiet. That's heaven at work. You'll begin noticing patterns breaking, deep-rooted, generational ones. Cycles that seemed unbreakable for decades will begin to crumble in your presence. Addictions, poverty, dysfunction, all of it begins to fall apart. Why? Because you have become the turning point, the shift, the disruption to the curse. And while others may try to rationalize it, to explain away your glow, you'll know the truth. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's not coincidence. It's heaven. And don't be surprised when the same people who once overlooked you start to circle back. They'll speak softly now. They'll wonder what's changed. They may not say it out loud, but they feel something different about you. They see something they didn't see before. They feel something in your presence they can't explain. Something in their spirit whispers, don't lose access to that one. Something divine is happening around them. But you must move with discernment now. Because not everyone drawn to your glow is aligned with your growth. Some are only attracted to the miracle, not the mission. Some are looking for light without doing the work to leave their shadows. Stay clear. Stay protected. Stay sacred. Because heaven doesn't just upgrade your life. It separates you from what no longer belongs in your future. Things may start to fall away. Let them. People may walk out. Let them. Situations you once clung to may suddenly collapse. Let them go. Jobs, relationships, labels, and even parts of your old identity may begin to feel foreign. That's not punishment. That's positioning. Heaven doesn't come to maintain what was, it comes to transform what is. To align your external life with your internal power. To match your environment with your elevation. And when heaven is involved, you don't return to who you were. You rise into who you were always meant to become. You go forward, not into comfort, but into destiny. You've entered a divine acceleration now. things will start moving quickly. Opportunities will emerge suddenly. Alignments will form effortlessly. Expect the unexpected. Embrace the unfamiliar. And above all, trust the unfolding. Because when heaven moves, you don't have to force anything. You just flow. You just rise. You just receive. Nothing can stay the same now. Because heaven just made its move, and it made it for you. Chapter 4, with a shift no one expected, but everyone will witness. There's a shift underway, so quiet it began with a whisper, yet so powerful it will end in a thunderous roar. And chosen one, you are the epicenter of that shift. This isn't a random change. It's not a lucky turn of events. It's not something external that happened to you. It's something ancient that's awakening through you. It's not just personal. It's collective. And the ripple that's been triggered inside your spirit will stretch far beyond what your eyes can see. What's moving in you is going to echo across timelines. It's going to reshape rooms, rewrite narratives, and redirect destinies. And no one, not even those closest to you, saw it coming. The people around you won't know what hit them. They're going to look at you and ask in disbelief, how did this happen? And the answer will be both simple and profound. They weren't paying attention when you cried. They didn't see the nights you prayed while pacing the floor. They didn't hear the whispered "I surrender" through clenched teeth and tired breaths. They weren't watching when you suffered in silence. They weren't tuned in when you buried seeds in sorrow, when your spirit broke but your soul still said, keep going. But now, those buried seeds are rising. And the harvest is about to speak louder than any pain you ever endured. This shift was not announced. It was not rolled out with banners or fanfare. It was not strategized in meetings or predicted by experts. No influencer hyped it. No algorithm triggered it. Because this shift was not manufactured, it was ordained. It wasn't planned by human minds. It wasn't approved by earthly gatekeepers. It was authorized by the divine. You've been hidden, not because you were lacking, but because you were being guarded. There was something too sacred about what was forming inside of you to be exposed prematurely. The fire in you needed to grow without the wind of outside opinions blowing it out. The oil on your life had to age in silence before it could be poured with power. The world wasn't ready for your rising. But now, it's time. Time for the emergence. Time for the elevation. Time for the evidence. This shift is making you undeniable. Not because you tried to prove yourself. Not because you shouted the loudest or performed for validation. But because what's unfolding in your life is proof in itself. Proof of divine favor. Proof of alignment. Proof of faith honored. You'll walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. You'll carry a frequency that rearranges things. A vibration that commands attention, not with arrogance, but with an unshakable knowing. Because you didn't just survive the storm. You became the storm. You've become the shift no one saw coming. And the people who dismissed you, ignored your presence, laughed at your dreams or tolerated your greatness in small doses, they're going to have no choice but to witness your rise. They'll see the favor, the grace, the opportunities, the doors flinging open, and they'll be left speechless. Because what's happening in you defies explanation. It cannot be rationalized. It cannot be dissected. It's not logical, it's supernatural. But here's the most beautiful truth of it all. This shift isn't just for you. It's for the quiet ones watching you from the sidelines, praying for confirmation that transformation is real. It's for the souls who lost hope and need living, breathing evidence that miracles still happen. It's for the young ones who will rise one day and say, because they didn't quit, I believed I didn't have to either. It's for the generations behind you, those whose chains will break because you chose to stand when it was hardest. Your life is becoming a testimony. Your breakthrough is becoming a blueprint. Your alignment is becoming a lighthouse. And none of it began with applause. It started with your forgotten tears. So let the shift come. Let it do what it was divinely designed to do. Let the old fall away. Let the truth rise. Let the weight of this moment rest on your shoulders, not as a burden, but as your crown. Let the world watch. Let them witness the emergence of a soul on fire with purpose. Let them try to explain away what cannot be explained. Because what heaven initiated through your pain is not just a breakthrough, it's a movement. A movement no one can stop. Not because it started loudly, but because it started in truth. And truth always wins. The shift is here. And you, chosen one, are walking in it. Now let the world feel the wave. Chapter 5. Your return was written in fire. You were never meant to disappear. You were never meant to be diminished. Your retreat wasn't defeat, it was divine preparation. A sacred intermission orchestrated by the universe, not to break you, but to build something indestructible within you. You were pulled back not because you were unworthy, but because the force you carry required time, space, and silence to fully awaken. And now, chosen one, this is your return. And not just any return. A return written in fire. The kind of fire that blazes through everything false, everything fake, everything that once tried to cage you. The kind of fire that doesn't ask permission to burn. The kind of fire that clears paths where none existed before. The kind of fire that makes even your enemies take notice and tremble. For too long, you were counted out. Misunderstood. Labeled by those who never even took the time to see you. Misjudged by people operating in fear, control, and projection. But what they didn't realize is this: your disappearance wasn't the conclusion. It was the beginning of the prophecy unfolding. They thought you were buried. But you were planted. A seed buried is not a seed forgotten, it's a seed preparing for emergence. And the deeper the burial, the greater the bloom. You didn't vanish. You went underground to gather roots, to remember your essence, to ignite the flame of your destiny. And now the fire in you can no longer be contained. This is not the return of someone broken or unsure. This is the return of the authentic you. The powerful you. The version of you that carries divine clarity and sacred vision. You are no longer seeking permission to be who you are. You've stopped shrinking for comfort. You've stopped dimming your light for the sake of fragile egos. You're walking in purpose now. You're walking in truth. And the truth doesn't apologize. You are no longer chasing validation, you are the confirmation. Let them stare. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them ask, how did they rise again? They'll never truly understand how you survived what was designed to destroy you and came back glowing. They won't grasp the spiritual weight you carried. They won't comprehend the silent initiations you endured. And honestly, that's not your burden to explain. Your job isn't to make them comfortable. Your job is to rise, to move with both grace and fire, to reclaim what was always yours, but now with authority. Because this return, it's not a soft entrance. It's not a request. It's a divine retreat into a realm that had no idea how powerful you were becoming in silence. This is not a return to the same place you left. You're not going back to familiar roles, old patterns, or small dreams. You're not returning to be who you were. You're returning to take your rightful position. This is the comeback that was forged in fire, The comeback that was prophesied in your pain. The comeback that was written into the scroll of your soul long before the world ever saw your face. Every storm led here. Every heartbreak trained you. Every tear anointed you. Your story is no longer about sorrow, it's about strength. No longer about being forgotten, it's about being forged. In fire, in faith, in divine timing. And those tears you once cried in the quiet, they were never wasted. They weren't signs of weakness. They were sacred water, cooling the flames that transformed you. They were spiritual offerings, emotional prayers. And now, the world is about to witness the result of those holy exchanges. The ashes they thought signaled your end, they are becoming the altar of your miracle. They are rising with you. They are testifying on your behalf. You're not just returning, chosen one. You're being revealed. Revealed as the one who endured. Revealed as the one who broke chains no one else could see. Revealed as the one who rose when it wasn't expected. Revealed as the one who became fire and refused to be consumed. This time, you're not here to fit in. You're here to transform the room. You're here to shift frequencies. You're here to blaze trails. You're here to carry light into the darkest corners of the world, because now you know what darkness feels like. You've been there, and still you returned. They thought it was over. They had no idea. You were just getting started. And the world? It's about to feel the full force of your return. Written in fire, sealed in spirit, powered by the tears that heaven never forgot. You're not just rising, you're reigning. And no one, not even those who tried to break you, can stop what's already been ignited. Chapter 6. The earth recognizes you now, everything is aligning. Something extraordinary is unfolding beneath your feet, quiet, ancient, and unmistakably divine. Chosen one, you've been walking a path that most couldn't survive. You've endured without applause, healed without recognition, grown in silence, and sacrificed in shadows. But the tides are shifting. The earth, in all its ancient intelligence, has felt the pulse of your transformation. And now it's responding. You may have noticed it already. A breeze that feels different. A silence that feels sacred. A new warmth when the sun hits your skin. These aren't just coincidences or tricks of your imagination. This is the earth recognizing you again. Your tears watered more than your soul. They touched the grid lines of reality. They soaked into the fabric of time itself. They whispered to the dirt that held the bones of your ancestors, and to the wind that carried your prayers when you had no words left. And now, those elements are moving with purpose. This planet has always had memory. And when a chosen one reaches the frequency of divine alignment, the earth begins to rearrange itself to accommodate the unfolding of their destiny. Yes, mountains move for you now. Not because of ego, but because of energy. You'll notice it in the way things start flowing. Where there once was resistance, there is now ease. Where there was confusion, there's now clarity. You'll go to places and feel like they've been waiting for you. People will say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel like I was supposed to meet you." That's not flattery, it's spiritual recall. Their soul remembers yours. The alignment has begun. And here's where it gets deeper. The timing of your tears was divine. You see, there are global shifts happening. Collective awakenings. Old systems are falling apart. And in the midst of this chaos, your spirit was activated. That wasn't by accident. It was designed. You're not just here to witness the shift. You're here to guide it. You're the bridge between realms, the translator of ancient codes into present-day language, the one whose very presence carries frequency maps. But that doesn't mean the journey ahead will be easy. It means it will be sacred. It means doors will open, but discernment will be required. It means opportunities will rise, but only your integrity can sustain them. It means abundance is near, but your vibration must remain high. And you're ready for it now. Because the fire burned away everything false. The trials stripped you of everything that wasn't aligned. What remains is the real you, refined, focused, connected. The earth knows it. The animals sense it. The wind carries your frequency farther than ever before. Even time is bending now, delays are shortening. Manifestations are accelerating. You speak, and the ripple moves faster. Why? Because you're finally in energetic agreement with your purpose. And that alignment is like a green light to the universe, Geo. Expect synchronicities to multiply. Expect people to confirm your thoughts before you say them. Expect to be guided by signs, numbers, dreams, and divine nudges. You've entered the zone where reality bends to purpose. But with this level of alignment comes responsibility. You must guard your peace fiercely. Protect your energy like royalty. Not everyone will understand what's happening to you. Some will project. Some will try to pull you back to the version of yourself they're comfortable with. Let them go. You're not returning to the past. You're being prepared for your post. There are places you will go now where your presence will trigger awakening in others. You won't have to try. Just being there will be enough. That's how you'll know you've stepped into your true path. You're not just seen now. You're recognized. By heaven, by earth, and by destiny itself. Chapter 7, The Thunder has spoken, now walk like it's already done. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when the signs are no longer subtle, when the evidence is undeniable, and when the atmosphere shifts with such intensity that you realize this is not the promise being made, this is the promise being fulfilled. Chosen one, that moment is now. The thunder has already spoken. The miracle is no longer approaching, it's here. Now, it's time to walk like it's already done. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the moment to second guess. The thunder wasn't sent for decoration. It was a declaration, a vibrational announcement that what you cried for in secret has now been authorized in the spirit. You prayed for restoration. You asked for purpose. You pleaded for breakthrough. And your forgotten tears, sacred, encrypted, divine, were the key that unlocked a flood of favor. But here's what you need to understand now: miracles don't manifest in doubt. They manifest in agreement. And you must now come into full agreement with your future. No more saying, maybe I'm not ready. No more wondering if you're worthy. You are. You always were. But now, the difference is, you believe it. The thunder was never meant to startle you. It was meant to wake you up. To the truth of who you are. To the power you carry. To the divine orchestration already at work in your favor. It's time to walk like the storm has already cleared the path. Because it has. Walk like doors are opening behind every step. Walk like provision is being dispatched with your name on it. Walk like the next conversation will change everything. Walk like the phone call, the email, the handshake, the alignment, it's already done. This is not delusion. This is prophetic motion. This is your spirit moving faster than your sight. And your steps will catch up if you don't stop moving. But don't be surprised if things try to test you now. When miracles are near, resistance shows up dressed as distraction. The final test is always how you walk when you don't yet see it, but feel it. Do not panic. Do not delay. Do not go back to comfort zones that no longer align with your elevation. This is your stretch season. This is your stand tall moment. You've walked through fire. You've stood in silence. You've waited when others ran ahead. And now the reward is ready. But you have to claim it, not passively, but boldly. Speak like it's yours. Move like it's yours. Thank God before it arrives. Why? Because it already has in the spirit. Now it's just catching up to the physical. And that's why the thunder came. It was the signal. The heavens saying, we heard. We are moving. Get ready. And now, it's your turn. Walk as the miracle. Walk as the answered prayer. Walk as the chosen one you were always meant to be. Because the thunder didn't come to warn you. It came to announce you. Your forgotten tears have spoken. And now the world is about to witness what heaven already confirmed. You are unstoppable. Chosen one. If you've made it to the end of this message, it's no coincidence. It means the thunder was meant for you. Your forgotten tears were never wasted, they were sacred seeds, and now your harvest has begun. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the rise. Now it's time to claim it. Time to walk in it. Time to let the world see what heaven already knew. Like this video if it spoke to your spirit. Comment 77 to seal the energy and signal the universe. Subscribe if you haven't, because this is your divine circle now. And play this again, as often as needed. Let the vibration embed itself in you. Because from this point forward, you're not just surviving, you're walking in the miracle. Your time has come.